couple questions. I know we did move forward with the initial study. We're here being asked now to further that. Is there a cost given to that initial research that you've done?
I don't have it off the top of my head. I'd come back with the budget that was approved by the board.
But there was a cost this
Important.
body moved forward because
Yes.
this body is paying for that now.
Yes.
And if we
They don't know the
move
cost.
forward, this body would continue to pay for that until such JPA, until such other things come to fruition, correct?
The cost moving forward will be for my staff time.
So we're utilizing resources from this body to continue to look at these issues. And one of the things, I know coming back and talking about the rate from 3.9 to 5% that's in our packet, but also has a stipulation, savings at fully functioning operations. There's different variables that deal with that, the economics, what's going on in the community, those types of things. And my concern also is it talks about a startup capital needs of $20 million that could escalate to $175 million, right? And so
Outrageous.
at this point, this body's being asked to continue to fund the research moving forward, reach out to the cities. I think in order to fully understand that, maybe going out and talking to the cities before we're asked to utilize any more resources here from this body on things that this body is solely responsible in doing might be more of an objective to get that information and that input from those that are interested. Because when you start to look at from 20 million to 175 million, if you're dealing with everybody around the table, then by economics, the share goes smaller. If you're only dealing with a handful, the economics get larger. So are we really looking at benefiting this body by continuing to look at it before we know who's actually interested in making up that 20 million and could escalate to 175 million here? And also, reading even more into the packet itself, talks about a bond, talks about a loan. Who would be liable? The JPA, the members that are there. There is some liability, not so much within the lines itself, I guess, but there's liability of who's actually paying for that loan and securing it, which then talks about the resources that we have and the roles that we play on the county, different organizations, cities that are here being represented, that we still have within our purview to ensure that we're moving forward a balanced budget. So I would think that before we're asked to continue to move forward, that we would actually gauge and find out who's actually interested, because we're gonna continue to spend money that might not come to fruition. And it's taking away from the resources that we're solely responsible for here in this body to continue to move forward. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Thomas. Moving on.
Thank you, Mr. President. I share Mr. Graham's concerns. It doesn't seem like, to me, it doesn't seem like the savings, of course, for risk. And I also agree with Mr. Ramos that it seems to me we're going to just kind of ass backwards, if you will. A JPA without really reaching out to the city members to see if there's any interest.
Wow, that's the smartest comment.
And I would echo Mr. Ramos' comments, because maybe we should do a little more groundwork before we move much further down the road. So I'm going to cast a vote on this.
Thank you for that. Mr. Hackman. Supervisor, Burt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've heard all my other colleagues here too. I just have a different take on it. We've lived in an area where our government has given a monopoly to the energy provider for each area for a long period of time. Councilmember Graham, I spent many years, 8 years, in CQC audiences dealing with this both in Sacramento at a local level, and realized that whatever the energy cost is, if all their support, all their help and everything else is, they get to go back to get a percentage of that from the stockholders and send back to the CPUC. That's why our rates are the highest in the United States. I mean, California pays more than double than Arizona, Nevada next door for energy rates. That hurts us both business-wise as well as our residents, their rate payments. Competition is kind of what we've been built on this country, and to at least look at it. And this,
On our side.
I think for 2 years on this board, we've only dealt with transportation. We've been talking about council governments for a long time. This is something that significantly affects our residents, our business, our ability to do business in this county. energy, cost is one of those things. To have a study to look at it and not commit to build it yet, but at least look at it, so each individual city, we have these 4 or 5, so they look at it right now, doesn't have to reinvent and do the same study for themselves. Even if you're not interested in putting a solar field in your backyard, so to speak, all those things we looked at in San Diego Riverside counties, that's why Riverside's looking at it as well. Those transportation lines, those infrastructure to bring that power to LA, to Orange County, is gonna go through our backyards, go through your cities. And Edison has that right to do that in the domain, they get that line, that traffic through there, and that's why they look at all the area. We'll be stuck with these in our backyard, in the desert. So at least take a look at it, see if we can get some kind of advantage for those residents who either live around it, or for businesses who end up buying that cost. I think it's short-sighted, we don't at least go through the study. Riverside's spending the money as well to go through the full study on a local level. The cities can either opt in or
This is
opt out.
Kurt Hagman, former state assemblyman.
So you can see that makes sense for your residents and for your businesses, your community. So I would suggest at least we stay with our sister county, Riverside. We're very unique, Riverside and San Bernardino, is that we are the corridor for those big power lines right now coming in to Arizona, Nevada, to other plants. We're going to tie into those lines. They're going to be pushing, they have so many proposed for San Bernardino County right now, so many proposed for Riverside. Every entity in the world is trying to put a solar plant up there. And we have some control, but if we push back too much, we'll do what they always do, go back to Sacramento, to circumvent local control, and then get stuff going for creating. So I would suggest at least stay with it, and continue to look at it. We can make a further commitment or decision later on when we get more of the facts.
Thank you, Member Wagner.
No, that's my point.
There was a good discussion here. I